You have 24 hours to vacate the property. That's what she told Meher, red nails tapping on that official notice taped right to my old ranch gate, her voice shrill enough to spook the dogs. HOA policy. You're trespassing. Can you believe that? Trespassing in land my family had bled for, land where my great-granddad broke his back building those fences by hand, where my grandma was born, where my dad taught me how to shoot, ride, and live with the land. Now this stranger, pearls tied on her neck, clipboard clutched, calling me a trespasser in my own story. Yeah, that happened. I tried to keep calm. Ma'am, there's got to be some mistake, but she cut me off, said I wasn't on the records, that my goats and cattle were lowering the neighborhood's value. She said it like my animals were garbage left out on their manicured lawns. You know what I mean? All the while, that old windmill was clanging in the breeze, the same windmill that's been here before any of them showed up with their rules and their perfect little fences. But what she didn't know, what nobody in that shiny new development down the road knew, was that I wasn't just some stubborn rancher hanging on to the past. I was a federal land agent, worked with the Bureau of Land Management, reported to Washington on protected zones, on land fraud. And right now, the HOA was illegally trying to swallow up federal adjacent land. My land. But I didn't say that yet. Sometimes, it's better to let folks dig their own grave. 24 hours, she said again, lips curling into a sneer, her little HOA golf cart blocking my barn. I just smiled and told her, fine. But when this blows up, don't say I didn't warn you. Because I wasn't leaving. If anything, the clock had just started ticking for her. Now, before I get too deep, folks, drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. This story? It's wild. And yeah, every word of it is true. Let's roll back a bit. Name's Jack Thompson. Missouri born and bred, 43 years old, and after a career in government, I came home to the old Thompson Ranch for 50 acres of woodland just outside Willow Creek. Didn't need a mansion or a fancy car. I drove a beat-up Ford, wore denim, and kept to myself. Folks called me Quiet Jack, always pitching in at the co-op, fixing fences, volunteering with the 4-H kids. When my father passed 2 years back, I poured my heart into restoring the ranch, rebuilt the barn, replanted fruit trees, restocked the cattle. Felt good. Felt right. But then, the newcomers showed up. Built a gated community a mile down the road, Willow Meadows. Every house identical, HOA rules posted everywhere. At first, the board came by with banana bread, asked if I'd join the HOA. I laughed, no offense, but I was here before the sidewalks. They smiled too wide, never came back. Or so I thought. Enter Judith Carlton, president of the HOA, bony, perfect blonde bob, white Lexus, dog and a stroller. She asked me to remove my old windmill, called it an eyesore. I told her, that windmill pumped water when your neighborhood was still cow pasture. That was the first spark. Then the mind game started. Trash from their subdivision wound up on my land. Notes tied to my goats, you're an embarrassment to the community. Fake fines showed up in my mailbox. One morning, I woke up to find survey flags on my north fence. HOA had redefined their boundaries to include part of my ranch. I walked out, calm, showed the construction crew my federal badge. They left in 10 minutes. Still, I didn't report them. Not yet. Sometimes, you give people the benefit of the doubt. But then, the eviction notice arrived. Red letters, industrial staples. Notice to vacate trespasser on private land. Judith herself signed it. I called the number. She picked up, cool as ice. We filed with the county. You can fight it if you want, but it's moving forward. That's when I realized they really thought they could steal my family's land. They never checked public records. Never looked at land grants, or noticed I was the paperwork. I decided to watch and wait, see how far they'd go. Days later, Frank from the feed store came by. Nervous, Judith's telling the council you're squatting. Wants to make your ranch a park. She's got investors. One flew in from Texas. That hit me. It wasn't about goats or windmills. It was about money. The natural springs on my land? Gold in a Missouri summer. This was war. I gathered every document, land deeds, maps, federal reports. I told the sheriff and old hunting buddy what was going on. He said, if they trespass, document everything. So I set up federal-grade cameras, night vision, satellite-linked. Sure enough, a few nights later, caught them on tape, Judith and her board, creeping onto my land, measuring and plotting. Next morning, Judith came back with a black SUV, 3 men in suits, and the same eviction threat. One guy, not like the rest cold eyes, didn't blink. He handed her a thick folder. Judith waved it like a trophy, formal eviction, filed with the county, backed by the HOA. Vacate by noon tomorrow. I looked through the papers, smiled. This isn't even legal. That parcel number? Belongs to the U.S. Department of the Interior. Judith's face turned pale. She insisted she had the Planning Commission's blessing. Planning commissions don't overrule federal land rights, I told her. Still, I kept my badge to myself, let them keep climbing. One more rope around their neck. After they left, I climbed up to the hill behind the ranch house, me favorite spot, looking over the valley, old barn, willow trees, now HOA flags staked in my field. Sat under the oak where my dad carved our initials and realized would survive droughts, fires, tornadoes, but I'd never fought a neighbor with lawyers and golf carts before. That night, I called an old friend, Agent Lowe, BLM. Might be attempted land fraud. You got 5 minutes? He laughed. They picked the wrong cowboy. Gave me the green light to investigate. Told me to report if things got dangerous. Things got dangerous fast. The HOA doubled down, put up a sign at their entrance. Coming soon, Willow Meadows Nature Preserve. They started marketing my land as theirs. Next night, I caught trucks with no plates burying pipes trying to steal water from my springs. I filmed everything, sent it straight to Lel. They've gone too far. At the diner, Frank handed me the newspaper. Judith and that cold-eyed lawyer, Bishop, shaking hands in front of my field, promising new trails and a water source. I went straight to the paper's office. Young journalist, Emily. You've been fed a lie, I told her. Come by tonight, I'll show you. She agreed. That evening, my back pasture went up in flames. Arson, set on purpose. Lost a shed, some pasture, almost lost the barn. Fire crews agreed it looked natural. Emily showed up, saw the damage, eyes wide. I showed her every deed, map, video. She was shocked. This isn't HOA land at all? Nope, I said. And they tried to burn me out. She wanted to publish right then. I asked for 24 hours needed to tie up the last pieces. Then it got worse. Found a hidden camera by the tree where I walk every evening, feed the dogs, make my calls. It wasn't mine. Someone close must have helped them. I destroyed it, but paranoia set in. Next day, Emily sent me a leaked video. Judith, Bishop, and investors on a Zoom call. Once we have proof of public use and no federal claim, the Dallas money comes through. Another video, clear as day, footage of a man setting my field on fire. I took all of it plus a forged signature on a land document. My name, but not my writing, straight to the sheriff. He whistled. This is organized fraud, Jack. We catch them acting, we've got him. I called Lel. We're moving now, he said. Team will be there by tomorrow. That night, a black truck rammed through my fence, nearly hit my house. They were getting desperate. I gathered every piece of evidence, packed it into a thick binder, badge right on top. Drove into Willow Meadows. Did it slow down? Neighbors filmed me, kids stared. I knocked on Judith's door, gave her one last chance. Stop before this goes federal. Showed her the badge. She slammed the door. Behind me, Bishop stepped out smooth as oil, flanked by men in dark jackets. You think your badge scares me? He smirked. No, I said. But the federal agents behind you might. And right then, 2 unmarked SUVs rolled up. Lel and his team. Ronald Bishop, Lel called out, we'd like a word. Chaos. Judith screaming, board member running, neighbors watching as agents taped off the street, arrested everyone. Emily arrived with a camera crew. You got them? She asked. On federal grounds, I said. By sunset, my ranch was peaceful again. I sat on the porch, dogs at my feet, sun setting over the fields. I thought I'd won, not because I had a badge, but because I'd stood my ground. But just as I finally breathed, the phone rang. Unknown number. Man's voice, deep and calm. You made a lot of noise, Mr. Thompson. My clients aren't happy. This isn't finished. Then he hung up. That chill crawled up my spine. Judith and Bishop weren't the masterminds. They were puppets. Someone bigger, investors, Zaire Grew, had been behind it all along. Calls started coming in, offers, threats, even my friends got dragged in, like Frank, who'd been bribed to plant a payment router in my shop. That's when I realized I had to go public, not just about the HOA, but the whole scheme, the arson, the forgery, the land grab. With Emily's help, we filmed it all, collected every testimony, every video. By sunrise, her expose went national. Zaire Group's offices raided, charges filed, fake companies dissolved. 2 days later, Lel handed me a letter, full federal protection. Judith and Bishop? Awaiting trial. The ranch? Quiet again. Fires healed, fences rebuilt, goats munching in the grass, unbothered. I still get calls, but this land isn't for sale. It's family. It's roots. It's everything. And thanks to a fight I never asked for but refused to lose, it's finally safe for now. But let me ask you, if someone tried to take what your family built, how far would you go to defend it? What does justice look like when the law itself can be twisted? Drop your thoughts below. Right, wrong, justice, or revenge. Where do you draw the line? Because in this country, sometimes, standing your ground is the only thing that keeps you free.